We're talking with Ulrich.
Right.
He, him, wants to talk about the existence of church proving God. Well, Ulrich, we are ready. We are here for it. What do you got for us today?
So Jesus said he left the church to the world, and here is the church as a universal proof of God's existence.
Yeah. Okay, so Muhammad said that he got a revelation from God and wrote it down in a book called the Quran, and the Quran exists today. Therefore, Allah is real, your God is fake, right?
The Bible is much more readily distributed.
No, just answer. So hold up. I'm sorry. Did you answer? Yeah, did you answer what I said? I said your God can't be real because of the same criteria that you laid out about Christianity, but this time I used it for Islam. So we're doing that thing again where the same methodology gives us counter conclusions, right? So one of us. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it's not written in the Quran that Muhammad received a revelation directly from Allah through the Archangel Gabriel and that it was written down in its entirety. It's not said that, and the Quran doesn't exist today?
Yes, it does. But how many Muslim scholars do you have? Almost none, because Christianity
does that matter?
Is bigger.
What does that matter? So what, there's more Christians, so now your thing is more correct? That's crazy. You know that's not true. How many Muslims actually are in the world, by the way? I don't think you'd like the number. It's a lot bigger than you're making it sound.
Like a billion, something like that.
Why does that matter?
It's a bit closer to 2, but that doesn't matter either way. The point is, here's the issue. If your thing, Ulrich, come on. If your reason for saying Christianity is true is because in the book that already accepts Christianity is true, it said a thing, and that is the case today, can you see how that isn't going to be a good path to leading us to truth? Because Scott and I have books, the Scientologists have books, the Mormons have books, and all of their books all agree that they're right, and they say things, and those things are true.
But they didn't come to pass.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Don't you know about the one in the Quran about building skyscrapers in the Middle East? What's been happening in Dubai? Ooh, boom! All the Dawa boys right now are fucking loving it. They're saying, Alhamdulillah, yes, praise SR, our brother in Muhammad. Yes! Come on, man. Every single religion has this. Every single one of them has this stuff.
Fulfilled prophecies is unique to Christianity, and there are.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about any one of them. Name a single fulfilled prophecy, and we will. Are you familiar, though, before we go through this? Do you know the man sometimes referred to as Paulogia, but his name is Paulogia? Are you familiar with his? Are you familiar with his criteria for what makes a prophecy a prophecy?
No.
Okay, so he has it well laid out in a video, and you should just go watch it on your own time whenever you have time. I love his stuff. But in general, this is a very basic list of criteria that must be adhered to. And I'm probably not going to get them all right off of memory, just so we know. But it's that the prophecy has to be made very clearly before the event described. Right? It cannot be vague and be answered by multiple occurrences. It must be specific, right? People can't be actively attempting to bring it to pass, right? So, and again, I think there's a couple more. I think there's actually 6 in total. But with that kind of in mind, let's talk about a single fulfilled prophecy from the Bible. Anyone whatsoever. Please don't say Tyre, though. I will talk about it, but please don't say Tyre.
Nobody wants to go there.
Nobody wants to go to Tyre. Okay. Give me a prophecy, Ulrich.
The Jews distributed to the whole world and then coming back in the last days into Palestine.
Do you think it's the last days right now? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that the prophecy is in the Bible? And I'm going to need chapter and verse here in a second. But are you saying the prophecy in the Bible is Jews will be kicked out of their ancient homeland, Jerusalem, and then eventually, when the apocalypse is occurring and the world is falling around all of us, in hellfire and brimstone, they will be back in that ancestral homeland. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but I don't say
Okay,
it's when the
chapter and verse, and do
event
you
happens.
think that it's the end times? Chapter and verse, and do you think it's the end times now? Because that has to be the case. It has to be the apocalypse right now if what you're saying is like that is a fulfilled prophecy. Otherwise, it is potentially a prophecy that could be fulfilled when the apocalypse and the end times actually occur. So, are we in the end times?
Fulfilled.
Are we in the
Has
end
been
times?
fulfilled.
No. The prophecy that you said, stop, Ulrich. I muted you. I'm going to take a breath myself. I want you to do the same. Okay. When you come back, I need to be clear on this. Is the prophecy that the Jews will be kicked out of their ancestral homeland and then brought back at the end of days? Because if so, just to put all my cards on the table, you have to accept that it is currently the end of days. Otherwise, that prophecy can't be fulfilled, right? Okay. So the other thing I would like is just chapter and verse of where the fuck to find that. So those two things, I'm going to unmute you right now. It's going to be a loud beat probably. You're back on, Ulrich. What do you got for me? Chapter and verse, and are we in the end times right now?
Deuteronomy 28:64.
Love it. Love it. I'll look that up. Are we in the end times?
Maybe.
Okay. But we have to be if that prophecy is fulfilled.
No, because it says they are back before the end times. Before might mean a long time.
So let me make sure I got this right.
I must have the wrong verse here.
Deuteronomy 28:64.
Yes.
Okay, mine says, tell me if I'm wrong, Scott. Mine says,
right.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
That's what I see. You must have King James version up.
Yeah.
Has that happened or has it not happened? It has happened, right?
Can I, let me, okay. Hang on. I'm going to read it again. Okay. Because nowhere in this fucking sentence that you just gave us, Ulrich, nowhere in this sentence does it say the thing that you said. You said the Jews got kicked out ancestral lands and then came back before the end times. This says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, probably talking about the Israelites, the Jews, the Hebrews. I'm comfortable with that, okay? The Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. Not returning yet, apparently. There thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. At no point in that sentence does it say that they will be brought back to their ancestral homelands.
Deuteronomy 33:5. There it says it.
So it's a different verse, though. That's all I want, real quick. I'll go look that up. Ulrich, you are an adult, and I know you're a good person. And I know that the next words out of your mouth are just going to be, hey, my bad, I just made a simple mistake. It's actually this other chapter and verse. And we'll go look at that. But tell me, Ulrich. Yeah, me too. I make mistakes all the time, man. No problem. No worries whatsoever. You didn't make
wrong. I was totally right. Sorry, I was totally right. The verse says the Jews will be scattered, and the other verse says they will come back.
So hang on.
Okay, what was the second one again?
Hang on.
Deuteronomy 33, what?
30, I don't know. We'll figure that out here in just a second. I got him muted. Ulrich, you can combine these two verses, and I'll accept this, okay? But that is not what you said, bro. And there is no reason to try so hard to be right on this. Just say, hey, man, I actually made a mistake. It is these two verses combined together, and then we'll go through them together in the last little bit of time. But if you can't come back on and just be honest and just be like, oops, my bad, man. Seriously, it is just an oops, my bad moment. I want that, man. Please help me out here. I'm going to unmute you. Ulrich.
Okay.
Oops, my bad, right?
Go for a topic then you ask for verses, and I give you one which is actually amazing, and that was just the scattering. The scattering is clearly there. There are tons of verses, not only one, tons of verses where it says they will come back to their homeland.
And you need both of those, and what you gave us first was one thing, so oops, my bad, Scott and SR. Let me hear it, Ulrich. Bring it home.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3.
We can fuck off, and we did. Hey, Ulrich, when you call back next time, when you make a mistake, just be a man, be an adult, say you made a mistake. It's really that simple, okay? And I did that on purpose for everybody out there who's like, wow, what a fucking asshole. Yeah, I was being an asshole, because if you cannot engage in a conversation and be comfortable enough when you make a simple, tiny mistake, like we all fucking do. I bet you I made 4 or 5 today, for fuck's sake. And if somebody would just go, hey, man, you said humble when you meant to say, you know, this. It's like, fine, fuck me, my bad. No worries. We're going to be fine. We're going to move on. But Ulrich, don't come all up in here and be like, no, actually, I was right. I got it. No, you didn't, man. You made a simple mistake. And now you don't get the opportunity to say your message of Jesus Christ, love and hope and compassion, all because you couldn't do the thing that Jesus tells you to do anyway, which is be fucking humble.